This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. The U.S. Department of Transportation officially unveiled its new framework for autonomous driving technology. According to the Secretary of Transportation, the U.S. is, quote, in a race with China to out-innovate, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Our new framework will slash red tape and move us closer to a single national standard and prevent a harmful patchwork of state laws and regulations. The plan is to modernize the federal motor vehicle safety standards over time, and the first steps involve streamlining crash reporting and expanding exemptions for vehicles that don't meet vehicle safety standards, which will all be overseen by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA. Companies will now have up to 5 days to file an incident report for accidents that range from the airbag going off or the vehicle being towed, all the way up to a death. For pretty much anything less severe, they'll have about a month and a half to submit a report. The DOT is also going to start providing exemptions to U.S.-made vehicles that don't comply with all vehicle safety standards, which was only available to foreign-made vehicles before. These exemptions are specifically given out for non-commercial purposes that involve research and demonstration. Waymo could expand beyond an autonomous ride-hailing company. Its CEO said that its Robotaxis could be available for people to own in the future. He didn't provide any details, like when or how it plans to sell the vehicles, only saying that, quote, there is future optionality for personal ownership. That would also require Waymo to partner up with another manufacturer, since it doesn't build its own vehicles. Waymo has slowly expanded its services over the last few years, and it's now providing 250,000 autonomous paid rides a week. Currently operates in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Austin, and later this year, it's expanding to Atlanta, Miami, and Washington, D.C. Toyota Chairman Akio Toyoda has proposed to buy out Toyota Industries, one of the automaker's suppliers, for $42 billion. But this isn't Toyota buying the supplier. It's an investment group that includes personal financing from Akio, as well as funding from Mitsubishi Financial Group and other mega banks in Japan. Akio already controls a little less than 1% of Toyota, the car maker, while Toyota Industries, the supplier, has a 9.1% stake in the car maker. So, if the deal goes through, Akio could have more influence over Toyota as a whole. That may be part of the reason his investment group offered a 40% premium over the supplier's current stock price. Toyota Industries has now formed a special committee and hired advisors to review the proposal. BYD had an impressive first quarter of the year. The automakers sold just over 1 million vehicles, including commercial vehicles, which was up nearly 60% compared to a year ago. That brought in $23 billion in revenue, an increase of 36%. Although we will note that was actually below analysts' expectations. And BYD's net profit skyrocketed over 100% to $1.3 billion. Since the first quarter is usually the weakest for Chinese automakers due to the New Year holiday, analysts are still expecting a strong 2025 for BYD. The company is on track to sell 5.5 million vehicles this year, with exports accounting for around 800,000 of those sales.
Performance that shines, even in the rain. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza tires, improved grip in wet conditions.
Stellantis and solid-state battery maker Factorial Energy say they've achieved a milestone in development of the batteries. The companies successfully validated Factorial's automotive semi-solid-state battery cells and demonstrated an energy density of 375 watt-hours per kilogram, which they say puts them on track for commercial use. For comparison, typical lithium-ion batteries have an energy density of 200 to 300 watt-hours per kilogram, and more advanced ones are at 450. Stellantis and Factorial also demonstrated that their solid-state batteries can operate in extreme temperatures, and they're capable of charging from 15 to 80% in 18 minutes at room temperature. Starting next year, Stellantis will begin testing the batteries in a demonstration fleet. Volvo has started production of the EX30 at its plant in Belgium. The model is also made in China, and the move to Belgium was supposed to provide a double whammy for Volvo, allowing it to avoid import tariffs on Chinese-made EVs in both Europe and the US. However, the new US tariffs have currently erased that possibility. Now you can still buy an EX30 in the US, but at a higher starting price than originally planned. Even so, the model sold pretty well around the world last year, with just over 98,000 reaching customer hands and accounting for over half of Volvo's total EV sales. Well, we've got another new EV startup called Slate Auto. It's been quietly developing a $27,000 electric pickup truck in Troy, Michigan. There are actually two models, though. There's a two-door, two-passenger pickup, and then with a cap added to the pickup bed, it becomes a two-door, five-passenger SUV. The structure of the truck is a blend of body-on-frame, unibody, and skateboard. And Slate is using a lot of off-the-shelf parts to hold down cost and develop its truck more quickly. To eliminate the cost of investing in a body shop in the assembly plant, Slate uses molded polypropylene body panels. And to eliminate the cost of a paint shop, the panels are not painted. Instead, customers will be offered different wraps that they can buy to apply to the body panels. There are two different battery packs available, a nearly 53 kilowatt-hour pack that delivers 150 miles of driving range, and an 84.3 kilowatt-hour pack that delivers 240 miles. The truck is powered by a 150 kilowatt or 201 horsepower motor with 260 newton meters or 215 pound-feet of torque. It will accelerate from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 8 seconds, and top speed is 92 miles an hour. It will carry a 1,400-pound payload, or 635 kilograms, and it can tow a 1,000-pound trailer, or 453 kilos. The overall length is 175.5 inches, which is about 2 feet shorter than a Ford Maverick. But the pickup has a 5-foot bed, which is half a foot longer than the Mavericks, and it's wider than the Maverick 2. Inside, it's bare minimum. For example, while there is a small instrument cluster, there is no center screen. Instead, the dashboard has sliding mounting points for smartphones and tablets to serve as the center screen. There are lots of power connections around the interior for speakers and other plug-in devices, but there are no power windows. You crank them up and down by hand, just like in the old days. We'll be posting a video later today with more details about Slate and its EVs, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Okay, it's time for another Autoline poll, and we want you to help decide what the auto industry should do with Yoke-Steering wheels. Production models that have offered them include the Tesla Model S and X and the Lexus RZ450e. But earlier this week, Mercedes hinted that it's likely coming out with one when it launches its first steer-by-wire system next year. The design of the yoke wheel clears up space for the driver and gives a clear forward view. And when paired with steer-by-wire, the wheel allows a wider range of steering angles and variable steering ratios. But so far, they really haven't been that popular with customers. So we want to know your thoughts on yoke steering wheels. 1. I've used one and it's fantastic. 2. I've never used one but can't wait. 3. No thanks, I'll keep my round steering wheel. Or none of the above. See my comment below. The poll is open for voting now for any of our Patreon and YouTube members, and we'll report the results for everyone on Monday. But that wraps up today's show. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. and by
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.